welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. We're going to do a tool review today on a Snap-on QBT200. So in other words, this is a quick battery tester 200. There's loads of different battery testers out there, and batteries are very, very funny things. You can literally have a battery that is one day good, and just like that, you can drive 100 miles, battery absolutely perfect, stop, get some petrol in your car, bang, the battery won't start. It can go that quick. Even a fairly new battery can go that quick. So batteries can be very kind of funny things. So we have a selection of batteries on the bench, and what we're going to do is we're going to test them. Because the thing with batteries is, just because they read the voltage, and what I mean by that is, this battery says 12 volt. I don't know if the camera's going to show that. This battery says 11.1. Now, the 11.1 is obviously, that's definitely gone, there's no question about that. But just because a battery reads 12 volts or 12.5 doesn't mean it's any good. That's the voltage, but the voltage doesn't start the car. It's the cranking amps, it's the actual amps inside the battery that allow the car to start. You can have a battery that's 12.5 volts, but it won't start a car, and you think, oh, that battery's good. Not necessarily. Every battery has labels on them, and basically you've got amperage. This is a 60 amp hour battery. This one is only a 40 something. This is a lawnmower battery that's obviously a lot smaller. This one is a 41 amp hour battery. So, and obviously you can see the size difference. So this would be for petrol, this most would be for a diesel. So just because it reads the voltage doesn't necessarily mean the battery's any good. So, what we're going to do, very quickly, now this is, the best thing about this tester is, you need to make sure you've got good connections on them. Now there's loads of different testers out there, but some of them you have to put in the actual amperage of the battery, you have to put in the make of the battery, and if the stick is not there, it's very difficult to try and figure out what amperage the battery is and all that, and it can be very, very awkward. This is basically a smart tester. This does everything for you, and it's very simple. It gives you 3 options at the end, very, very simple. So all I do is press the button, it goes through its test. Now, it's saying battery no good. So even though we've got 12 volts in here, which you would think is okay, you think, okay, all that needs is a charge and that'll be fine. Well, no. So the voltage is good, but obviously amperage inside the battery is no good. And I know that for a fact, because I've taken it off a car that it was no good on. I know I could put this back on the charger and I could maybe get this battery up to 12.5, 12.6, 12.7 volts, but it's not the voltage. So let's test the smaller battery. And just press it again. And again, it's telling us no good. Hopefully that's coming through. So that's the best thing about this tester. You're not having to guess. You're not having to think, oh, well, is it or isn't the battery? Bang, it tells you straight away whether it is or whether it isn't. So let's get onto this battery. The voltage tester on it. As we can see, 12.7. So this battery, well, let's see if it's any good or not. The voltage will tell us it is a good battery, but let's see if it is. Now what that's telling us to do, it's saying it needs a charge before it can properly determine the battery. So even though we've got 12.7 volts, whatever it was, you think the battery's good, it's saying this needs a full charge. So we'd have to charge it and test it again. That's the beauty of this tester. It tells us everything. We're not having to guess. Test this fella. And this is saying 10.2. So this one is completely down. But again, we'll put it on. And again, it's telling us no good. The far battery. it's saying 12.7. Let's see what our tester says. Now, as you can see, it says good. So it knows straight away, yeah, the voltage is good, the cranking amps is good, everything is good. Simple. And this is why these sort of testers are brilliant. Because you can test the battery through the voltage and you think, oh, that battery's fine. So what you might do is you might start looking at other things on your car. You might start looking at alternators. You might start looking at wiring problems and stuff. And it can all be down to your battery. Just because you think your battery is good because you've put the voltage tester on it and it says it's 12 volts, it's 12.7, whatever the case may be. This will tell you straight away whether it's your battery or not. And honestly, it can save you hours upon hours of time. Now you can test them inside the car. I just happen to have these batteries out, the batteries that I've changed over a couple of years or months, whatever it is. So that's why it's easy for me to show you a range of batteries. But you can test them inside the car. But with this tester, you have to make sure that the car is switched off. You don't leave a load on the car. So the car is off, all the lights are off. It's just keys out of the ignition, and you just test the battery. So that really is as simple as that. Now, so as we learned with the tester, this one, if I was to read 12 volts on there, I would kind of think, okay, just maybe needs it needs a charge and it will be fine. But as the tester says, no, it's not. So there's no point even trying. I would have put that on charge for the customer, tried to start it, just wasting everyone's time, just get a new battery, they're sorted. This one obviously on the volt says it was bad, and also on the tester. So it just goes to show you can't always rely on the tester. Now, fair enough. You could say, well, the tester, only one really showed up that was wrong. But these were obvious because these were below 12 volts. If your battery is below 12 volts, I don't care who you are and what you say, it's not going to come up properly. You might charge it, and yes, it might start your car as soon as you charge it, but you leave that car for 2 or 3 days, I guarantee you it won't start it. So this is why the tester is just tells you straight away, no guessing, bang, sorted. Done. End of. Now, as you'd expect from Snap-on, you get a nice, good hard case, because cases are important, especially if something drops on these. So you get a nice, good hard case, and I have to say, you know, as regards the case, it's nice. You get nice padding in it, so at least, you know, if it's in the back of your car or something, it's not going to be rattling around. It's you know, it's well secure. You get the destruction book, and we have QBT200. Quick battery tester. Now, it is designed really solid plastic, so it's designed to take a bit of grief. Even the cables, they're good proper clamps. They're not kind of cheap clamps, but you wouldn't expect that. So they're nice good clamps. The wires and everything, you know, they're nice supple wires. They haven't gone, they're not hard or anything like that. You know, they're nice quality wires. It's very straightforward the way it works. You just press the button and it gives you basically 3 options. Battery good, it needs a charge, or the battery's bad. So it takes all the guessing work out of it, because what will happen is, even if you have a battery that looks good on the voltage, if the amperage behind the battery isn't there, then it's not going to start no matter what voltage it reads. So voltage doesn't necessarily give you the true reading of the battery. The only time voltage gives you a proper reading is if you're testing the alternator. You know, if the alternator is putting out enough volts or not. But a battery can be reading good voltage but not necessarily work. It's very good, very simple, and it kind of speaks for itself. Like I said, there is lots of battery testers out there. Some I like, some I don't like. The thing about some of them is, especially kind of the older ones, where you have to basically cross the battery and it puts a load on them. If the battery is any ways bad at all, the battery can blow up. I don't personally like them ones. These ones are different. These ones don't do that. Well, they certainly don't put as much pressure on the battery as them other ones. So I just prefer ones like this. Now, it is always a good thing, because when you're testing any battery, you have to be so careful. So it's always best to wear glasses or goggles, because batteries can blow up, especially when you're testing them with anything, and even when you're charging them, it is vitally important you kind of stay away from wear glasses, because they can heat up and they do pop, and if the acid goes all over you, well, you don't want it. So that's it. This is really nice, simple, straightforward. Just press a button and it tells you. And with a lot of things like this, when it's as basic and as simple as this, you just can't go wrong. You haven't got loads of bits to go through trying to get the right battery, the right test, the right this, the right... You just bang, press the button, bang, it's done. Simple. And the simpler your life can be, the better it is for everybody. So there we go. Snap-on QBT200. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe. Website and forum coming very, very soon. And don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.